So I've realized in the creation of this video, not even when I was racing, not even during the edit, but really more so right as I was starting to get ready to record right now, that this is pretty much going to be my summer Le Mans experience, because I don't think I'm, I realized during this whole process that I don't have the current interest in endurance racing that I did. Endurance racing is what got me into sim racing. It's what fueled me throughout sim racing, and it's what really has started, I guess, this channel, is me wanting to show off endurance racing and my AI racing, where I get to do 24-hour races in 24 minutes. And that's really how this, kind of all got started. But I'm kind of at this point now where the thing that I've found more fascinating, more captivating, and more rewarding is oval racing right now currently, and am just completely off road racing and of all kinds. And I wouldn't say my interest in the in taking part in those type of events. I still love watching IndyCar and IMSA and WEC, WEC as it were, but I don't have an interest in, like, for example, I don't have an interest in pulling a 24-hour race come a couple more months in June for Le Mans, because I don't find that moment that makes endurance racing so satisfying. I find that it's an extremely hard thing to achieve, and rare, and really dependent on other people, whether it be your competition or your teammates. And that same satisfaction or reward, that the very rewarding feeling, can be had in shorter races that are still long, hour and a half to 2.4 hour races, whatever it is. Even something that's more 30 minutes can still feel like a nice run if you're battling another car the entire time. And that's the great thing about iRacing and their SOF and their matchmaking system, is that can happen a lot. And so I don't find that I need to have endurance racing anymore, because I used to need to get a long quantity of racing, so to say, at once, because I couldn't. There was no option for me to do sprint racing regularly, especially when we consider rFactor 2 that being the main vessel at the time for my sim racing. There were no other options other than those longer team-based endurance stuff, and I wasn't into iRacing at the time, and I didn't have the funds to make it possible. And so now that I have the ability to be on iRacing and race whatever I want by the hour, it seems like the thing that I've been pushing myself to do is oval racing, which is so surprising to me. And I really would have never have seen this coming at any point in the iRacing journey, or any point in the sim racing journey, at least for for a full-time focus, that is. But that's where we're at, and so that was a lot of different ways to say that. But here we are coming into our pit stop. This is I was going to say the VRS sprint race, but this is now just the iRacing, the GT iRacing series. This is not the Enduro, the 3-hour Enduro. This is the 40-minute sprint race. And you can see we got our pit stop ready there, making sure to keep our same tires on, because in a 40-minute race, you do not need to change your tires, and really just trying to get the nice, safe but still quick amount of fuel. We did go a little bit over, I think, more fuel than we needed, but it definitely was a better call to play it safe. I'm glad we did that. So we popped into the pits at 6th place, and now we're leaving in behind the car that was 4th place, but he was a couple cars ahead of us, and we're just behind him now. So we're now behind Jordy. I feel like that was a very solid pit stop. That was a little bit of an undercut because there is the leaders still have not cycled through to do their pit stop yet, and I'm really seeing to where we shake out. You can see we now find ourselves moving through the relative and our standings. Things are not quite lining up right. We're still waiting what it is to see. And normally going through a lap just to see where you are at on the grid is not that daunting, not that annoying of a task, but when the laps are 4 minutes apiece, it gets really annoying. And so here we come out with another pit road battle, fighting for position. This guy came out in third place, really cooked himself there. He had the opportunity to really change the scope of both of our races there, but he way overcooked that corner. I don't know, we didn't see him the rest of the race. We just kept on going. So that guy surely got a time penalty, as well as the added faux pas, bad move, the added penalty, just nature of the natural time penalty for going off track like that. And so we're getting to a place now. You can see we're in the podium position, and car number 2 is losing the leader. They were fighting side by side for a while based on what I saw on the relative, but that just kept draining away. And so you've seen this entire time now that we're up onto the last lap that we have just been slowly clawing this car ahead of us. Jordy was that car that we pit with and came out with at the pit stop, and you can see that they're 5 seconds ahead of us now. So they really just did have the pace on us. You can see that we're running 402s at Le Mans, and that is not fast. And for R Factor 2, the beginning of what I considered, and what I learned for R Factor 2, for, like I said, for endurance racing, especially at Le Mans, that you really, if you want to stay competitive at Le Mans, you need to be running under 4 minutes and under. So your lap time's got to start with a 3 if you want to be doing well. And I mean, like, you got to be running 3s consistently with the full tank all the way down. And so a little slow here, so it makes sense how Jordy is able to take off on us. But we see Alejandro in our sights, and again, it's the last lap at Le Mans, and normally at a gap this big might seem undoable for one lap, but maybe if you're at Nordschleife, you're not thinking about that at all. But especially with the long straightaways that we have coming to us, I am salivating right now. I'm just thinking about getting up to this guy's bumper and how quickly we can do that, where we should do that, and what's going to be the best opportunity, and if I can clear them. But I'm starting to put a lot of eggs before the horse, if we can take two expressions there. And so I'm trying not to do that. I'm trying just really to play the position that we're in, play the moment, play the corner that we're in, and just keep setting ourselves up right for the future. And what that really means is always taking the decision that keeps us having a better run through these straightaways. So if we have to check up early, if we have to, whatever it is, make sure our straightaway is not compromised. And that's what I'm thinking as we're headed into our Nage, and we're here at the end of the Mulsanne. And I'm still trying to be aggressive though, but I really have learned a lot over losing so many safety rating points and dropping down my license down to a B-class license in road racing, that your patience is going to reward itself a lot more than it will harm it. Than being impatient will harm you. So I'm just keeping that in mind here, and here's my opportunity as we're going to get a line on the inside heading into Indianapolis. The guy realizes too late what he's done, and I expected him to put up a little bit more of a fight. We did, go in with a full head of steam there. And so now we are playing the keep away game here. Watching the replay, I do not know how I didn't overcook this corner and fly into the barrier. I don't know how that came off. The car came to a stop in time. Did not see that coming. Apparently I knew what I was doing in the car, in the cockpit at the time. But watching the replay, that looked very dangerous, very sketchy. And Jordy, again, we can see him. He's just barely in eyesight, but 3.5 seconds when we just have the Porsche curves to go is nothing to worry about. So we're going to out of sight, out of mind kind of thing. Don't worry about them. And we're really focusing on Alejandro behind us. But the longer we go, the further they get behind us. So we just really have to keep our shiny side up and our tires on the ground, or tires on the pavement rather, and just keep ourselves away from time penalties, etc. And this was a surprise for me. I did not expect to, especially from where we qualified, or rather failed our qualifying and wasn't able to put in a second lap. I was surprised to finish up here in P2, but really happy about it. And so let's see what we can do for part-time road racing for the rest of the season. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.